world, we decided to go with one of the most raging issues in the country today. Immigration is seen as this big, ugly mess that no one wants to deal with, and that we should just cut it off altogether, and immigrants are not even, or aren't seen as any better. They're coming from like completely different countries, and they have to come here and adapt, and that's not easy, obviously. So the effects of that, and along with the effects socially, educationally, financially, are really heavy on these students. So when they're trying to get an education here, but life at home is really hard, then it kind of discourages them a lot. I mean, the reason why they came here is to build a life and build a future for themselves. They're completely left in the dark, so they have no support whatsoever, simply because they're an immigrant, a foreigner. We've done research on statistics, and we've interviewed real people who came from different countries, deal with the whole immigration thing, and having to deal with the hardships and struggles. We've kept the names anonymous, though, to protect that privacy of theirs. But we feel that people don't really understand how hard it is to be an immigrant in the country and to go through everything that they do, because they're human just like you, just like me. And our goal, hopefully, is to bring awareness, positive awareness, compared to modern day society, how we deal with that within our school and our community.
All right, to start off, most of you guys don't know what xenophobia is. And basically, it is the word of the year, and the definition of it is an unreasonable fear or hatred of foreigners or strangers or whatever is different or strange. So basically, why this relates to our topic is because there are many reasons why Americans would be very scared of immigrants and foreigners, whether it's because of terrorism that's been going on all around the world, not just in the U.S., but also jobs, companies taking advantage of the foreigners to be paid off, so they have to pay them less, or even the crime rates going up. This ties into our topic because we believe that undocumented students are not treated the same as others, and students are not received the educational aid that they need to succeed in school.
Where it begins. Normally, the struggles of an immigrant student usually begin in the home life, whether it be linked between education or financial stability. And the first area I want to cover is that parents are not able to really help students with their schoolwork, or if they don't understand something. And I don't know about any of you, but when I don't understand something, I feel that frustration that I'm not be able to grasp the concept. And they may feel that way as well about the English language or just how our society works. So when they come home, they can't really ask their parents, either because they know the same amount that we do, or they know less because they are not in the same school as you. They're out getting a job, trying to support the family. And that brings into another concept. 4.1 million U.S. youth have undocumented parents, and that is a lot of our community, and that's just a ridiculous amount that deal with that struggle of not having the support at home. So how many of you get kind of annoyed when your parents ask you repeatedly, how was your day, what did you do, or did you learn anything new today? Yeah, I get incredibly frustrated because it's the same questions every day, but you have to think, some people don't have that kind of support at home. Some people don't have, what did you learn today, either because they work or they just are busy, and that brings another concept. Not only do parents have to work, but sometimes the students do too. So that means you're self-sacrificing for your family to help support the family, and you're also self-sacrificing to get out of your comfort zone. So you're already in a school where there's new people surrounding you, like you don't really know the language yet if you would have come from a foreign country, and like you're getting out of your comfort zone. Like I'm pretty awkward, and so like even this right now is like, ooh, okay, and so it's hard for me to be standing up here, but think about them. Like they have to reach out if they need help, and not just if they understand. Like us, we have to like reach out if we absolutely need to, and then they usually reach out because they really need it, and they really need to understand what's going on. So that's a big part of the struggle that they deal with.
And if you guys have any questions during the presentation, feel free to raise your hand and we'll try to answer to the best of our ability.
So kind of to follow up on the idea of home life, some of these students who have undocumented parents may come home one day and find the parents gone. Like they might never see the parents again because their parents have been taken away by groups like ICE or some form of like police government. And what is ICE? ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and what it is it enforces federal laws governing border control, customs, trade, and immigration to promote homeland security and public safety. So again, like I said, many of these kids may come home to find their parents just gone and don't know what to do or don't know what the next step is. So they remain stuck. And some of these kids are never contacted by ICE or Child Protective Services. And this can lead to homelessness and then sex trafficking, drug dealing, and possibly being involved in gangs. And many of these kids have to beg friends or other family members to take them in and care for them while the absence of their parents, during the absence.
With one of the people that I did interview, this actually happened to them. Their brother was taken and was sent back to Mexico, and she has not seen her brother since. And it's been about 7 years.
So the financial aspect of it is obviously a hard struggle. Immigrants are coming in, most of them probably, coming with little to no money, they don't have a job yet, and they lack the financial stability to support themselves, and especially if they support family, kids, they're worrying about if their kids are going to eat the next day, if they're going to eat the next day, because they're just working so hard, and they're taking the lowest paying jobs, anything they can get. So and some of them, they get the short end of the stick, they don't even get a job due to the lack of English speaking abilities, and probably because some employers just don't want an immigrant working for them. They don't want that customer to stray away from them, because obviously a lot of people are scared of immigrants because of how they're made to be in the media. So the dreams that they come here with to build it, they came here with land opportunities. And obviously our country is known for that, and it's great because, you know, who wouldn't want to come here when they're in time of need and build themselves a better life? But then the dreams are broken because they don't have a job, they don't have any money. I interviewed someone, he came here when he's about 25. He came here with his life savings, which was only about $5 grand. And that was just to get him on his feet at the beginning. And he had family here to stay with, but a lot of people are the first in their family to come here, so they don't have anyone to support them for shelter. So it's a lot of different branches that they have to worry about: food, shelter, money, everything. So it's hard, it's scary. Imagine not knowing if you're going to eat the next day.
Yeah, there was also a quote from one of the people that we interviewed. It says, "I had to live with my uncle in my uncle's basement for 4 years while going to school." So this quote shows that there's some people in the school and in our community that they don't actually have a place to call their home because of all the financial struggles, and it's stressful to think about, because what if your home's not there when you come back from school?
And because of their undocumented status, they aren't always comfortable with, or they don't always have the ability to get a place of their own. And school districts, public school districts don't really require I need your social security number or more specific information. They just need you to prove residency, and that's pretty much it. They don't really care, they don't really check to see if you're a citizen or not. So education. So undocumented status affects more than 1 million children, and standardized testing inhibits the child's asset of knowing the native language. And again, many of these kids, immigrant kids, can't get any help from their parents because their parents don't understand the content that they're learning in school. And many schools have yet to develop strategies to support cultural straddling. And that's just understanding multiple cultures. And how does this affect the student? Teachers need to understand the immigrant or child of immigrants' culture to meet the needs in school, because many times that affects them and how they understand the information. and 80% of our teachers are Caucasian, while more than half of the children are racial minorities.
And to add to that, I would like to incorporate a quote from a person that likes to stay anonymous. She moved here when she was 16 years old, and she's now 38. And she shared this story with me about her best friend, who was in a district-wide, it's like a mathletes, but it's for science competition. And Mayor Daley was there, from the mayor of Illinois from 2011. And she was offered a huge scholarship to whatever college she would like in Chicago, but she had to literally deny it because she didn't have a social security card. And that's like having a piece of pizza in front of your face and saying you can't eat it. That's a lot. It's like having an opportunity, an amazing opportunity in your hands, and you can just lose it like that. It's beyond compared.
So for this first quote, was another interview. So said, I had to sit in the back of the classroom with headphones on learning English, and I had to take 3 years of summer school to catch up. This was in her early education, so while she was in her English class, I had to sit in the back of the classroom with headphones on, and she'd hear cat, and she'd look at a picture and she'd look at a picture of a cat. And that's how they would teach her English. And then, because she wasn't learning what they were learning in her English class at that time, she had to take about 3 years of summer school to catch up to those kids. So some schools have programs, and depending on if they're good or not is what we want to know.
Another person that we interviewed, she stated, since I didn't understand English, kids took advantage of that and began to say rude things to me and laugh when I smiled and said thank you. So it shows that this was in her younger years in elementary school. Kids, American kids, they don't understand, they think it's funny. They think it's funny to say things that people don't understand, and their reaction to that is just even more funny. So I feel like we need to show the youth and people in the U.S. that that's not good. Teachers would make undocumented kids sit in the back while the other kids filled out papers for FAFSA. So going off what Tiffany said about her someone being denied a scholarship, this is also a huge thing. Since undocumented students, they don't receive any financial aid. So it's hard for them to go to college. Even though the DREAM Act is implemented, that doesn't help them pay for college.
This isn't only just happening in the high school community, this is also affecting elementary and middle school kids. And it gets worse for them as they grow up and enter the high school age.
Yeah, so it's very important to attack this at a young age. So, as I said, early education is most crucial for them. In feeder districts such as District 130, they have programs to help students make the transition. Traditional bilingual education is going from Spanish to English, and depending on where they test, up on the top picture shows when they need a test. They can either be in the full-time class, half and half, and then they can test out and be in the regular classes. And then there's the transitional program of instruction, which is, so the TPE was just for Spanish to English, and the TPI is for other languages, such as Polish or Arabic, and helping them go to school. Yeah. Yes.
Did you talk to someone from District 130?
No, we weren't able to get anybody, but that was on the website. So that's what we got from the website. They didn't contact us back. Yeah.
So do they do better on the test if they're only in part-time? Because it's 3 efficiency, if you look at 4.1 and part-time.
Part-time is
it
happens.
Yeah, it's part-time is when you're mainly in the English. So it's full-time is when you're in that Spanish class, learning English and all that stuff, but it's mostly in Spanish. And the part-time is when you start is when you start going into the regular classes, regular English class, and full-time is when you're fully out of that class and you're in with regular kids. And then a statistic in 2013-2014, the nation's graduation rate was 82%. Now out of the 82%, 62.6% were English learners. So that leaves to 20% for non-English learners.
Do you know if we have those classes at our school for, because there are students here who I know personally that don't know English at all, so do we
working
have
on that. But yes, to kind of lead off on that, like Indian students like that come to Shepherd have that English class, but it doesn't really help them. Like I had a friend last week who came from a different country and he took the English class and he said it wasn't the best help. But yeah, so the next thing is, so this is the park performance levels for English learners, and as you can see, Shepherd isn't that far behind from Richards or Eisenhower, and the 23% of Shepherd did not meet like the right standards for park testing. And it's not that, yeah, it's the better percentage out of the other schools in our district, but as you can see with Tinley Park, it's almost doubled, it's almost twice as much, and it just goes to show that there's a high percentage here at Shepherd than at a surrounding school at Tinley Park that do not meet the standards of park and just need more help understanding the concept of the test.
Yeah, so there's still change to be made in that.
Alright, for one of the interviews we did, I was able to contact Ms. McCormick, and although she did not have any experiences like dealing with a struggling student in like a mentally type of way, however, she was able to help them through like the college perspective of it, because since, like I said, undocumented immigrants do not get financial aid, she needs to work with them to find other ways for them to go to school. Also, Mr. Ninus, he's right here. We also interviewed him, and he gave us information that Eisenhower is actually, there's a teacher there who actually helps immigrant students she made a support group for them so that they're able to transition into American society.
We also tried to contact her with information, but she never responded back. But we want to begin something similar here at Shepherd.
And the same individual that I talked about earlier, the one that moved here when she was 16 and she's now about 38, she also said people come to this country to look for a better life for themselves and for their family, not to take opportunities away from the citizens. I just feel like I have to remind people of that, because mostly around this year, I've just heard remarks like they're taking our jobs, like they're making us have less opportunity, which is not true at all, because if anything, they're helping us, and they're just helping our economy and us strive for a better humanity. And it's not that they're taking our jobs, it's we're using them as an excuse for our laziness. Like, if you want a job, you go get it. And that's what they do to help support their family, to help create a better life for themselves. And another quote is, it took me 20 years to become a citizen. The process was extremely slow. And I feel like everyone really does know that the process is slow, but 20 years, that's a really big chunk of your life. And that you're just like sitting there waiting. And like, I'm not patient either, so it's just like,
A lot of these also people who like really work for trying to get citizenship. Many of them are brought into or contact an immigration lawyer who can have a false title and just rob them of their money and run and just leave them with not giving them their citizenship that they had been asking for.
So we've been talking about this, like, yes.
Sorry. When you guys interviewed students who were immigrants or who had immigrant parents, did you ask them at all about how they learned our culture or anything like that? Because I know that my mother had immigrant parents, and she would always tell me about how it was hard for her to learn the culture because the culture that her parents taught her was a lot different than what we had here, and learning it was really hard.
With our research, we found that children learn the culture and be a part of the culture, and it's also a struggle with the family, because the family doesn't get accustomed to the culture as quickly as children do. So there is that that struggle there also, and parents don't completely understand, and that can lead to.
Yeah.
So that's
To prove that that's true, I wasn't born in Mexico. I was born here, but yeah, my parents did come to America, and growing up, I only spoke Spanish, and I got to kindergarten like not knowing English, but yeah, it was much easier for me because like you're a kid and you're still learning, so I was just put into like those ESL classes, and well, just to sum it up, like I just started reading by the end of first grade, and I thought that was like awesome. But yeah, it is difficult for parents, and like my parents are like, oh, can like speak to us in English. So I was like, I can't. It's like not used to it, but yeah, it is easier for children to learn because you're still like you're learning stuff as you go. But yeah.
first
Yeah.
generation.
The same gentleman that I interviewed, he said when he came here, he spent most of his life back in Palestine. And when he said he came here, he said about obviously it was hard learning the lifestyle and adapting to Western culture. He wasn't used to it. But he said once he learned, like, the ways of the road, he glided just along with everyone else, like he had been here for years.
Okay, so the misconceptions about immigrants is that they're not beneficial to society or economy, they bring more crime into the country, and they're stealing our jobs. Well, the truth is that they increase our GDP and they create jobs. So they take a lot of low-skilled jobs that Americans don't want. So with that, they help businesses prosper and businesses grow from that. And because they have those jobs, they are able to buy products, and all that increases our GDP. And you guys, freshman year geography, GDP is the gross domestic product, and the higher the GDP, the better. And they create jobs as the businesses prosper, the businesses expand, and more jobs are created. And studies have shown that there's no correlation between immigrants coming and crime going up. Actually, in 1990 and 2013, illegal immigration population in the U.S. tripled, while the violent crime rate declined 48%. So everybody who's been saying that, they're not right at all. And people always believe that, and because they constantly hear that, they think, well, is it true? And no. And like I said before, immigrants take low-skilled jobs that most Americans don't want.
So why is this important? Why are we talking to you guys about this? Well, obviously there's just a negative stigma around it, saying that, and it sticks onto the immigrants, saying that the criminals or drug dealers are going to bring death to the country. As I was looking at research, a lot of the comments were so negative, saying that these people don't know what they're talking about. Bringing immigrants to the country is it'll be a catastrophe. And that's just, it's not true. There are huge contributions to the economy, like Brooke said. They're making jobs, helping our country prosper. And the whole point of it is to make it better, is kind of like in ourselves, better in humanity. So we have to be more mindful and considerate, because we talked about how hard it is to come here and build a whole life for yourself, not knowing anything about the culture, maybe if you don't know the same language. So being considerate towards these people and knowing what they go through, it's going to make it a lot easier on them, because the discrimination, the ostracizing, it's just insane. Like it just shows that we don't care. Like we like to taunt them around.
Okay, our solution is definitely to bring awareness to this issue, and like bringing up the idea of support groups. And support groups are available at some schools, but not at all schools. So we would definitely bring awareness to try to change that, because I feel like it would be very beneficial to those who need it in times of need, and just someone to listen and give them feedback if they have it. And someone asked why don't they have it in all schools, like I wanted the same. It would just be beneficial to their well-being and just the way they learn. And like I just asked like myself, like why not? Like it wouldn't hurt to help. And interviews with Mr. Dinas and Mrs. McCormick has helped us realize that we should really like pursue this, that we should keep this going, because they think it's a very good idea about the support groups instead of just the classes that we have here at Shepherd.
Okay, so today, how this relates to today. Today we see history is repeating itself. And election, the president-elect has said many xenophobic things, and we elected her, which is kind of scary. And in 1840, we saw this trend happening when there was an influx of German and Irish immigrants coming, and these people who didn't like that and felt threatened, they're called nativists, and history repeating something is never a good idea, and we try to learn history and inform ourselves so bad stuff like this doesn't happen again. And in this political cartoon, it says, don't give me your Muslims, your Mexican rapists and murderers, your Black Lives Matter activists, your disgusting woman bleeding from wherever. So the beginning part is what, it's like, you're wrong, like don't give me your Muslims is xenophobic, and your Mexican rapists and murderers, that's not true. Although there are like a few they're rotten apples of immigrants that come from Mexico, most of them are not going to be violent and dangerous because they don't want to get deported. So they're going to keep it on the DL. So yeah.
And we wanted to end off on a positive note with information to remember. Anybody asks like, what is home to you? Most say home is like that warm feeling that you feel when you're surrounded by the people who care about you, loved ones, and just support, and when you feel safe. So when people say like the rude remark, like go back to where you came from, or any of that regard, that's just very rude, because what if you don't know why they moved here? Maybe they didn't feel safe, maybe they just weren't prospering in that country. They just wanted to start a new life here, and maybe like this home, your home can be their new home as well. And also difference in culture, getting back to the xenophobic side, like difference in culture is what makes America what it is today. Like it's just, America is really diverse, and I just feel like everyone bringing in their cultures is such a great thing, because we're not one culture. Like, well, we are, but it's just a bunch of them mixed. And then the girl that I also interviewed, that was 16 when she came here and 38 now, she said, I love this country. It gave me an opportunity to have a job and have a fresh start. I am forever grateful. So even the girl that waited 20 years to get her citizenship, she is still forever thankful for our country. And even though she faced so many hardships, she's still grateful today.
So we would hope for a better positive awareness for this instead of compared to contemporaries that we have. We know that we can't solve immigration. We're not going to solve it like that, but we know that we can raise awareness for it positively.
Like one step at a time. Like hopefully we can create the support group again here at Shepherd to create for them to feel safe here at Shepherd and know that they have a voice. They also have a voice, and they don't have to stay quiet about it.
So just be open-minded, is our